Hi, welcome to the next episode of Landlord Investor Hour. I'm Tracy Hanbury from the National Landlord Investment Show, and I'm very, very delighted to have Reese Meny, who is joining us today from HJ Collection. Reese, we've kind of worked together now for quite a few years. So tell our audience, who are HJ Collection and what do you do?
Yeah, thanks for having me, number one. We've worked together for some time. I'm the CEO of HJ Collection. We're a property development company in and around the UK. We do sites predominantly in the UK, in England, but also we're looking at some sites in Ireland, Wales and Scotland as well, so all over the country.
Okay, so obviously investment at the moment and the way the current market is. So how are you adapting your business at the moment to the current economic challenges?
The way that we're adopting our business is we're continuing to be a little bit more aggressive in terms of purchasing. We've just come through the pandemic, number one, and now we've gone into what people are saying is a downturn in the economic climate. What we've found is that we predominantly convert office space to residential, and what we found through the pandemic is that there was a lot more office space available, especially in second and third tier cities that we specialise in regenerating. We've just carried on doing what we're doing, carried on doing what we're good at, working with investors that allow us the purchasing power to be able to buy at the correct price. We're just going to keep pushing on.
I mean, how do you think the housing market will respond over the next 12 months?
The housing market's a great market, and the reason for it, you get the ups and downs, but they're hard assets. They're always there. No one's ever going to take them off you, as long as if you've got a mortgage, you pay your bills. So how's it going to be? It goes up, it goes down. When's the best time to buy? When's the best time to sell? There's great opportunity right now, and it's a funny time. There's a lot of opportunity, in my opinion, in the market right now, especially for us.
Okay, so obviously you are a national company, you operate nationally. How do you research the best locations for the property developments that you offer?
Yeah, so we've got a team of, which I've put together, of sourcers, and then we've got our land acquisition team as well that find the sites. So we've got, I suppose the best way to describe it is a machine where we fill it at one end, and at the other end comes out the sites that we need to sit down and discuss. So throughout that process, it's taken a long time to put this together, but 6 or 7 people will be out looking at sites, passing sites to then decision makers in my team that will then look at them sites, look at the numbers, the location, comparables, where they are, what the benefits are of us, purchasing that area. And then we sit and have a board meeting and pick which ones fit for us and our investors. What we like is second and third tier cities, because you get the ripple effect. We're not then competing with the big boys. We're not then competing with people that are building skyscrapers or, big schemes of 100, 200 new homes. No, we're a niche in our market. We specialise in that. We've done that for a little long time and it works. And our investors like that. They're comfortable with that. And what we do look for, which is a key part for our investors when they team up with us, is the sites that we purchase. We couldn't physically buy the land and the materials and build it for what we pay for the site. So people that team up with us, we're already in front, if that makes sense, on the purchase price. So there's a lot of components that goes into it, and obviously the bigger the scale, we don't just specialise in one area, so it takes manpower
of course.
and people on the ground, but that's what we specialise in. It just takes time to get to that level.
Yeah, of course it does. I mean, and how do you find these new acquisitions? Because it's quite a challenge in itself. Yeah,
well, what happens is in any sector, when you get teams that are out there that are deal sourcers. So they don't work for us, but they have access to deals. Then what they do as a company is obviously they work with different companies and they put you on a priority list. I suppose if they show you 3 sites and you buy 3 sites, you're at the top of their priority list. So where we work with investors, it allows us to be a cash buyer. So we're not compete. We don't need to go and get a mortgage. We don't need to do this. If we like something,
you're ready to go.
Yeah, it fits our criteria. We will then purchase. And obviously the sellers like that because we move quick, and the sourcers like that because they know if they show us something and it fits, we will purchase it. And we're not tire kickers, so it's taken a long time to get into that position. But we get a lot of deals that come through to us for us to look at. And we look at 30, 40 deals a month, I suppose. We're lucky if 3 or 4 of them work.
So tell me, obviously, HJ have doing our shows for a long time. So what is your, in terms of like your typical buyer, your typical landlord, like how do they start that journey? How do they, what is a typical client for you?
Yeah, so what we're finding predominantly is that who team up with us are landlords. I'm a landlord myself, but some landlords that are not seeing the same return as what they was, and they're tax implements, boilers going wrong, tenant problems, everything's stacked these days for the tenant. Okay, not really the landlord. It used to be more stacked in the landlord's favour. So what we're finding is our clients that work with us are people that are a little bit fed up in that market, sell part of their portfolio and come and work with us for a passive income. Okay. They sit back, they allow us to do what we do, they get a fixed coupon payment over a fixed term, they get the same security as owning their own buy-to-let because they've got security over our assets. And it just allows them to concentrate on other things in their life. Maybe they're at a retirement age where they don't want to deal with problem tenants and things like that. So it's just easier for them to get probably the same or if not a better return by teaming up with us and lending us money and having the same security and getting a better income for just really working with us. Yeah,
that makes sense. So it's basically having that investment, growing that investment that they've had and then putting it into something that's going to work a bit harder for them and get that return. That makes perfect sense. So as HJ, like how are you as a company navigating yourselves through the economic turmoil at the moment?
Yeah, again, it's the same. We are, most of our sites run at around 80 to 95% occupancy throughout the pandemic and how things are at the minute. So that side of the business, is just normal business. And I find that in these times, in these uncertain times, in the times that we're spoken about constantly, I think there's fantastic opportunity. So I spoke to my leadership team and my management team, and the way that we will navigate our way through this is we will work harder, we will buy more sites, we will look at more sites, and we continue to do what we do and up the antes, so to speak. So just do more of what we're good at.
So I think really what you're saying is like sort of forward thinking and actually probably answers my next question, but in terms of the advice that you would offer buy-to-let landlords, interest rates, are continuing to grow or they're set to. So, how would you navigate a landlord through that? Just forward thinking and what would you say?
Yeah, forward thinking. Number one, things are going up, so rent has to go up. It's as simple as that. You've got to up your levels of your income to keep everything where it needs to be, and tenants understand that. Your mortgage rate's gone up. If you do some work in your property, things have to go up. So the same for us. We work with our tenants and give them the best service that we can and put them at the front of it. But ultimately, if things are going up, everything has to go up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so give us an insight to a current project that you are working on at the moment.
Yeah, well, there's a few, to be honest with yourself. So with projects that we're working on at the moment, we've just purchased 3 new sites, one in Hanley, one in Lowestoft, one in Ipswich. And this will give investors or anybody that's watching this an insight to how we do things and the way that we set things up within our business. This opportunity got offered to us 6 months ago. 3 sites together. Their price was 4.1 million. Went to my team run their numbers, the acquisitions team looked at it, liked the sites, could see that the areas that the sites was in was regeneration areas that we could definitely rent the projects out in. So once we've sectioned them up into apartments, we then rent them, and we will refinance with a mainstream lender and retain them assets. All of that fitted, apart from the purchase price was completely just out. It didn't work for us. 6 months later, we purchased them 3 sites at just over 2 million, so half price. And that's a testament to my team right now, and what we've put together is that they negotiated for 6 months and got them at the right price. Our appraisals stack up. We've took them 3 sites and we've completed on them 3 sites. Work's about to start on them. All 3 sites will be live before Christmas.
You're pretty busy then.
Yeah.
So,
and that's just one part. You know, we've got other sites in Essex, Braintree that's running at the moment. By Christmas, we'll probably have 6 or 7 sites all live, contractors in place, all running. And we're still actively looking for new sites.
Yeah, and where, I mean, we sort of touched on that in terms of like new acquisitions and how you find them, but any kind of good top tips, Reece, in terms of like, obviously the Northwest, we're here today, we're sat in Manchester.
Just looked at a site just a moment
Did
ago.
you?
So, yeah. I mean, look, to us, location's key in anything, but more important for us as developers is purchase prices key. If we buy correct, the site works wherever it is. Long as there's rental demand, and in the UK there's rental demand. Of course. There's different locations. It depends what you're buying for. And it depends what stage of your journey you are as an investor and what you're looking for. Us as a business, we're looking for income. We retain our assets. So we're not really looking for massive appreciation. Appreciation is lovely, but you won't get as much appreciation up north as you will in London. But then you won't get the same yields up north as you'll get in London. You'll get better yields up there. Yeah. So, it swings and roundabouts, and it's what one's looking for at the end of the day. But the business model and what I've worked on for the last 10 years to bring to investors is an opportunity where they can partner up with a reputable development company that's been there, seen it, done it, and can give them a safe, secure return for sitting back and letting their money work for them. And that's what we've done for the last 10 years.
Yeah, and actually, that 10-year journey, actually, it's what advice now, if you looked back those 10 years ago, what would be the best bit of advice you'd give yourself?
There's a lot. I mean, you can't do it yourself. You have to invest time and energy into your team. And without a core, everything is down to foundations. You have to get your foundations right in business, the same as you do when you're building. And that's what it stems from. You've got to have a good team that you can rely on, and also allow them to make mistakes. People that don't make mistakes don't really do much. So, I'm always a big believer in letting my team make mistakes. As long as you don't make the same mistake over and over again, but you're never going to learn if you don't allow people to take the ball by the horns and get on with it. So the best advice that I could give to not just myself, but anybody that's starting out, quite frankly, is, build a team, get good people around you.
Yeah, I mean, that's great advice. And I think actually the foundation is building that foundation, isn't it? It comes down to that. And without a great team and stability, you don't learn, you don't grow. And there's no problem with making mistakes. It's just how to rectify them and not make the same mistake again.
Over again. And when I say team, I mean, some people will be sitting there saying, well, how do I build a team? I need money to build a team. I don't mean going from 1 person to 10 people, but I mean, in stages, steadily add 1 person, add somebody part-time, whatever it is in your niche. That's what you need to do. You have to have good people to help you be able to do what you're good at, because you can't be the best at everything.
No, you can't do everything.
No,
you can't. You absolutely can't. And Reece, it's been lovely to have a good chat with you today, and just for our audience. So please give a reference to your website.
Yeah, www.hjcollection.co.uk is our property development company. Everything's on there. You can reach out to me across all social medias as well. We're on all platforms. Happy to answer any questions if anyone wants to get in touch directly or indirectly through yourself. Any questions that we haven't answered, happy to answer.
Thank you so much, Reece. It's a pleasure to have you here today, and we look forward to working yet again in the future with HJ Collections. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon, guys.
Cheers. Thank you.